Hello, class. So, the two articles that I decided to read were Natural Hair and Perception in Job Interviews and Multiple Perspectives on Piercings and Tattoos in Interviews. So, I chose the first article because being African American, especially being an African American woman, I wear my natural hair a lot. And so, I was curious to see just what the content of that article was going to be. And then I chose the second article because I'm interested in getting piercings and tattoos, but I also know that there's that whole controversy of like professionalism in the workforce in regards to piercings and tattoos. So for the first article, I actually chose two quotes that stuck out to me. The first one is going to be, although the moment was a signal of much needed and long awaited progress, the outright prejudice Black women face because of the way they decide to wear their hair is completely inexcusable and has been swept under the rug for far too long. So I really agree with this quote because I definitely believe that there is a prejudice, but I also believe that that prejudice is not talked about. So me personally, I've been criticized for my natural hair. I remember I would go to school and people would tell me that my afro was too big. Teachers would tell me that I had to change my hair because it was a disruption to the class. And I would always wonder why, because it was simply just my natural hair that I was born with. So not only are we being criticized for something that we were just born with, but in the same token, the problem with that prejudice is not being talked about at all. So I really agreed with that quote. The second quote that I chose from the same article is, "The beauty of understanding is placing yourself in someone else's shoes." I think this is something that's really important to think about and to look at, and also practice, is because as I feel like as sometimes as people, we're quick to like maybe judge a situation or comment on someone else's life without having even the slightest understanding of what that person may go through or what their specific journey of life or walk of life entails. And I just think that the ability to come out of oneself and try your best to position yourself in that person's shoes, at least before you say something about their life, I think that that's really important. I think more people need to do that. So for the second article, the quote that I chose is, "Although there may be a few instances where piercings may be a safety issue or obscene tattoos may be inappropriate, it is improper for these forms of expressions to be banned as a whole." I 100% agree with this quote. I do think that in certain cases, for example, if you work in a warehouse or on a construction site, you shouldn't have like dangly piercings or dangly jewelry. And in the same token, I think that if you're teaching, let's say, like a group of 5-year-olds, you shouldn't have sexual explicit tattoos exposed to them, or maybe foul language exposed to them. But I don't think that these small and specific incidences should ban and ruin tattoos as a whole. I think that the power of expression and the ability to express yourself however you choose, whether markings or holes in your body, I think that that's your choice, and I think that that's very important for people to be able to get into if they choose. Because I know, like for example, some people use piercings and tattoos as a coping mechanism. But like I said, just simply, just as the right to express yourself, I don't think that one person maybe deciding to have maybe curse words as a tattoo should ruin it for everyone else. And then in regards to how does the idea that nonverbal communication is ambiguous factor into how people perceive us or how we perceive others, I think it factors in because you're talking about perception, and you could have one single thing, let's say a phone, but I can perceive it a certain way and another person can perceive it a completely different way, but it's still the same phone. So I just think that it plays a huge factor into how people perceive things, because due to it being nonverbal, that kind of leaves that gray area for people to put in their 2 cents or put in their beliefs and kind of apply their life and what they know to that situation. Therefore, they perceive it a certain way, and that's how you get like different perceptions of literally the same thing. And then in regards to the second prompt of like what nonverbal behaviors do you use in an interview, I would say I'm always super nervous in an interview, but I would say when it comes to how I present myself. I try and present myself as if I'm the best fit for the job, which I do believe I am, but like I said, I get nervous. And I also try and present myself as confident and knowledgeable and intelligent and educated on whatever field I'm going into. And I try and convey this through maybe eye contact. I talk with my hands a lot. Also, posture, tone of voice. So, yeah, those are some key things that I try and implement in my interviews. Thank you for watching.